Welcome to Movie Screen, the home of movie news and entertainment. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for all the latest industry film information.
Welcome back, guys and ladies. I hope you are all doing well. As we all know, 2023 has been the worst year in history for big-budget movies in Hollywood. Barring a few gems here and there, we have been blitzed with box office bombs, shallow stories and mundane performances, unwanted sequels, and it's been never-ending. And I'm afraid to say, there won't be an end to it. Yep, you didn't mishear me. I'm about to tell you exactly why what I'm telling you is a fact. Not only that, I will tell you the true reason Hollywood appears to be pressing the self-destruct button. This is one of the most important videos the production team at Movie Screen have released to date. Over much deliberation, we have decided to do so, and it's out of frustration. Not for Hollywood. Our frustration lies with movie YouTube channels. In addition to the usual suspects, we have seen countless YouTubers endlessly slandering film productions without providing any explanations as to why the quality of filmmaking has died a death before our very eyes. All they seem to do is bitch about how terrible a movie is to get quick clicks, then they jump onto the next movie to beat up. If they are coming from a place of ignorance and lack of understanding, fair enough. If they do know what I'm about to share with you, they are keeping their viewers dumbed down and ignorant, only feeding you shallow information you already know. If you're a movie lover that grew up watching inspirational films that brought you joy, excitement, sadness, and intrigue, and have noticed the steep decline in films over the last few years and want real answers as to why, you have come to the right place. By the time you have finished watching this video, you will understand why movies are so poor today, and you will be brought out of darkness and into the light of knowledge. And for those of you that are thinking, how does Movie Screen know the answers to the decline of Hollywood? I will be happy to answer. The Movie Screen channel is owned by a California-based film production company, and we have to follow the same guidelines set up for the big studios. Don't worry, I will explain the guidelines shortly. But rest assured, once you hear what I have to say, you will have a light bulb moment. Don't get me wrong, all of those terrible films you have seen recently will stay terrible, but you will actually understand why. Now, for complete understanding, we need to start from the start. Back in the 1900s, there was no such thing as Hollywood. For decades, the film production headquarters was Jersey. All of the major studios resided there. This quickly changed with film studios fleeing to what was later established as Hollywood Land in California. The studios moved due to Thomas Edison implementing strict patent laws within the film industry. He owned many of the patents studios used, and this was crippling the creative freedom of studios, forcing them to leave. As we all know, filmmaking is an art form which should be left to expand and evolve. Imposing restrictions will result in poor quality productions. After the mass exodus of the studios to Hollywood Land, the birth of major studios started to flourish, including RKO, Paramount Pictures, MGM, and Warner Brothers. And this led to the golden age of cinema, producing the greatest icons and most legendary movies of all time. It's hard to believe with the current state of cinema, but in this period, everything Hollywood created turned to gold. The hits just kept coming and coming. This was the gold rush for Hollywood cinema, and it continued throughout the 30s to 60s with amazing classics. The quality of cinema continued to improve from the 60s to the 2000s, with some iconic pictures that drew huge numbers in the box office. Everything was going perfectly in the movie capital of the world until the 2016 Oscars took place, and critics slammed the industry with Oscars too white. The hashtag traveled across the news and social media like a wildfire. For the first time, Hollywood was under serious pressure due to no people of color winning or being nominated for any awards. The second blow to the industry came in the form of the Harvey Weinstein controversy, giving birth to the Me Too movement. Hollywood was under attack from all angles and had gained the reputation as a corrupt, racist, sexist, seedy industry. In response to the too white shaming, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts started to enforce stronger diversity with all of the major studies. As a punishment if the studios didn't comply, their films would not be nominated for any awards and completely ignored, irrespective to how successfully the films performed in the box office. It didn't stop there. Due to the growing number of women coming out about sexual abuse and the growing outcry globally, the government got involved in 2021. Now this is where you need to pay attention. The government Congress passed a bill mandating film studios to meet diversity targets on and off camera. This is known as the California Film Tax Credit. If film studios fail to meet the annual target, they are penalized financially. If they meet the target, they will be rewarded tax credits. In addition to this, the government requires film studios to submit 2-year diversity work plans to ensure compliance. The entire fabric of filmmaking had been changed forever. With film studios being forced into a corner, their focus is no longer great cinema. What comes first is to hire actors, directors, crew, screenwriters that meet their diversity targets. What followed was junk, some of which included Ghostbusters, Ocean's 8, Black Panther, Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars, to name a few. Back in 1910, over 98% of Hollywood movies were made in California. As of 2021, it's dropped to 53% and is continuing to decline. More and more studios are opting to produce movies in other states, with even more studios opting to shoot in Europe to avoid regulations. Unfortunately, it gets worse. With the mass exodus out of Hollywood being noticed by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts, this year they have imposed even greater regulations to film studios regardless of location. You want to hear how crazy this gets? Watch on. On top of the government regulations, their mandatory regulations include at least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors is from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. At least 30% of all secondary or minor roles are from one of the 2 underrepresented groups. Also, the main storyline or theme must be centered around an underrepresented groups. Another, at least 2 of the creative leadership positions, and department heads must be from an underrepresented group. It carries on. At least 6 crew team members and technical positions, excluding production assistants, must be from racial or underrepresented groups. It doesn't stop there. The major studios and distributors are required to have substantive, ongoing paid apprenticeships and internships inclusive of underrepresented groups. Is your head spinning yet? This is not a joke. This is the bullshit Hollywood studios are having to deal with right now. The studios have been bent over a barrel since 2021 and have been regulated to hell. The underrepresented groups the regulations are referring to is as follows: women, people of color, LGBTQ+, people with cognitive or physical disabilities, people from low-income communities, people from rural areas, people from indigenous heritage. You do realize if these classic movies over the last 60 years would have been released today, none of them would qualify for the film standards regulations. Totally nuts. These regulations have spilled into TV shows and dramas too. Now hopefully you are starting to understand why Hollywood are doing crazy gender and race swap movies and TV shows, recruiting directors and producers with a lack of experience or respect for the projects they are working on. The studios are too focused on meeting their regulation targets. Meanwhile, audiences are pulling their hair out watching trash productions. Hollywood no longer recruit talent. They recruit under pressure, based on the regulations set by Congress. The studios are caught between a rock and a hard place. On one side, strict government regulations. On the other side, angry audiences, furious with the decline in quality productions. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Hollywood should be excused for producing hardcore garbage for the last 24 months. Even though the industry has become politically regulated, they can still force through quality productions. Unfortunately, the studios are too lazy to do this. Studios are receiving notification loud and clear their productions are failing, and they are paying through the pocket with low audience turnout and terrible reviews. The big question is, what are they going to do about it? The Flash being a prime example. Check out our video relating to this in the top right corner after you have seen this video. At the moment, it looks like nothing will be done as studios are producing a lot more woke crap. The Hollywood we once knew and loved is dead. Amazing films and productions replaced by shallow, politically motivated woke crap that doesn't pander to anyone. The entertainment industry has lost over $7 billion in international revenue over the last 3 years with the new woke system. This is now the new normal, so get used to it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.